someone like, say, US, they're proud of Bill Gates or Steve Jobs. So we have to clearly distinguish between entrepreneurs, industrialists versus, crony capitalists. This is the word Kejriwal is also using. I'm not lifting it from anybody. I've been using this for years. If you take someone like, say, Natco Labs or Reddy Labs or Infosys or Wipro, we should not envy these people because they have created wealth for the nation. They have created thousands of jobs. They have created science and knowledge base. They are earning millions of dollars of foreign exchange. They have created millions of dollars of wealth for shareholders. In the process, they have made money. They should. They have every right to do it. Those people are what you would call business industrial icons of our country. But unfortunately, a guy like Ramalinga Raju also wins Businessman of the Year award from Economic Times. I mean, there are a long list of similar people. But how do we differentiate here? If I take Gali Janardhan Reddy versus Dr. Anji Reddy, both are businessmen. Both of them may fund political parties. Both of them may do it in certain percentages of what they earn. All I am saying is, when someone like Gali Janardhan Reddy is funding, he is bringing that money from questionable means. Why is it questionable means? Number one, he would have exploited natural resources of the state or country which belong to the people of this country. When he makes money out of that, that money should come back to the people, whereas it is going back to the politician to fight elections. Number two, money like that which is earned by them is coming from contracts awarded by the government, such as power projects, irrigation projects, dams, etc. These projects, the cost of those projects, I mean, maybe let us say 100 as a reference number. They will bid at 80 rupees. They will take that contract. They will keep on escalating it to 200 rupees. And that guy has not even a rupee in his pocket on the day when he gets that contract. He gets an advance. He gets to establish a business. Ultimately, he delivers an inferior project, or probably he never completes, but he gets paid 200 rupees for nothing, out of which most of the money would have gone back to his benefit or back to the politicians. This is through contracts. Number three, there are what you call, invisible assets, or very difficult to identify things. Like take spectrum, for example, 2G or 3G. It's not like a land or a mine that you can see. It's not like an SEZ real estate land that you give away. It is not like a oil or a gas basin you give away. You can't see it, but it has huge value. It is a spectrum that earlier used to belong to the defense of this country, so it is a national wealth. When the defense people vacate that space, that frequency space, and it is assigned to somebody, and they move on to something else, that space or that frequency is used by cell phone companies. So that is limited. Whoever gets access to it can give good service. Whoever doesn't get access to it cannot even establish a cell phone company. At what price do you give it? And the money you get from that should go to who? It should go back to the people of this country. Now, when you ask me this question, I would fully support and encourage industrialists, businessmen, entrepreneurs like, ranging from the Tatas or the Infosys kind of people, or the Wipro kind of people, or Dr. Reddy Lab kind of people. We should encourage them. We should support them. We need them. The country needs them. They create jobs. They create wealth. And there are a lot of small success stories, entrepreneurs creating small applications, running small, creative ideas, small shops, even people like you. You run an online business, you create jobs, you are, exploiting technology, you are reaching, you are addressing a good cause. Those are, maybe small entrepreneurs who also pay taxes, if not, income tax, at least some sales tax or service tax, some tax they're always paying every day. They are creating employment. Those people have to be encouraged. But the businessmen who are funding politicians, I'm not saying are always bad. But the bad businessman is forced to fund them because he's a part of that system. And mostly in real estate too, a lot of, and their infrastructure too. Today, all of those companies, Lanco, GMR, GVK, together, they have gone for capital debt restructuring of 55,000 crores. And it has all been approved. I mean, whose money is it? Tomorrow, if the banks collapse, whose money is at risk? But forget all that. Let us say the banks don't collapse. Okay? Today, our interest rate is very high in this country for the people who pay the interest, who borrow and pay. So, some middle class guy, poor guy, is working, he's got a job, he wants to buy a scooter, he wants to buy an apartment, he wants to buy a car, he takes loan, EMI. He starts to pay interest. His interest keeps going up. Why does his interest go up? His interest goes up only because he is subsidizing the loans taken by all back in time. If everybody is servicing their loans and interest in time, our interest rate also should be some 5% or 6%. I'm not saying it should be 2% and 3% like in Japan or US, but at least 6%. No doubt I wanted to be in politics. I have also told you that politics is a good platform from which you can serve people. I mean, I have a trust, I have a company, I have a free training center, water, temple, job, we do all this. But if you ultimately want to reach people and serve people to the best of your abilities and with genuine selfless interest at heart, then politics is the only platform. In 2007 or 8, when I wanted to join politics, obviously I had enough friends in all the parties, all the people in Congress were also my friends. In fact, some of those Congress ministers were sitting as board members, as directors in my company. And since my father hails from Kadapa, I knew even the then chief minister or even Jagan or Vivekananda Reddy personally. In fact, YS Vivekananda Reddy and I used to maybe meet at least once in 2 months. We still are good friends. There is nothing, there's no. However, TDP approached me and they asked me to join the party. And given all alternatives at that time, TDP was a good platform for me to join. I'm not saying that, see, if you go back to my original answer, your first question was, why did you start a party? Today, I have come to a realization, we all change over a period of time. I'm talking about after 6 years, I'm talking about today's world when someone like AAP can win 30 seats. Today we are talking about a world there is greater awareness to fight against corruption. Today there are movements like Anna Hazare's. Today there are hundreds of other things which did not exist 7-8 years back. 7-8 years back, like you said exactly, someone signing a contract with Reliance was hailed as development oriented or visionary. Today we look back at each of those contracts under a lens or under different kinds of scrutiny, and we say that these are all matters of corruption that have damaged the country. Otherwise, in my opinion, these developments of cycle come, or these opportunities come to any country, any economy, only once in 30 years. And we got that cycle maybe first time in 1970, we messed it up. We got the second cycle in 2000, and I think we again messed it up. I mean, the kind of investments that have come in, the kind of attention we have got, the kind of boom that the world was experiencing, the kind of exploration resources we've discovered, the kind of money that was made available to develop those resources, we haven't achieved any of those. We neither have we built an infrastructure, nor have we built adequate strength in our human resources to be competitive for the future. So joining TDP in 2008, I went there with my eyes open. I knew all parties were corrupt. I knew TDP was corrupt then also. I know TDP is corrupt today also. I knew Congress was corrupt then also. I know Congress is corrupt today also. Given all of those platforms, this was a platform which invited me and offered me a position. This was the best alternative at that time. I was less sensitive to these issues because I accepted the country and system as it is on that day. And this was the best. Today, I do not want to accept the systems as they are. I want to make sure that we provide an alternate system or at least an alternate platform. And today, I also have maybe the experience, maybe the courage, and maybe by God's grace, little bit of financial resources to try and do it on my own, which I could not have done 7 years back. Do I have facts? Do I have documents? Do I have needles of suspicion pointing to each of them? The answer is yes. And I'm gathering those and I'm fighting as much as I can.